There we go.
We're live.
Hello, Facebook family. Once again, Popcorn's Health and Community Tip for the week. And we're on every Monday. We have a power-packed show today. We, we're so busy, we have a pre-show to the show. And the object of the show is to give you enough health-related information that you can choose to live a healthy lifestyle, or if necessary, have enough information to make informed healthcare decisions. And community tips, very good information for you to know. And so on this pre-show, we have Mr. Hugh and Miss Carolyn Lipscomb here, who do so much in the counties because we have a huge issue with hunger. And so, Carolyn and Hugh, if you would introduce yourselves, I appreciate it. Let our viewing audience know something about y'all.
Well, my name is Carolyn Lipscomb, and I am the coordinator for Adventist Community Services in the southern region of the state of Georgia. I have almost 90 counties in my territory, but it's almost impossible to get to all of them. But we have chosen to have a program we call Food Bags for the Elderly, because we know that our senior citizens have as great a need as families with children. And our seniors don't get the assistance that they need sometimes. So we purchase our food from our food bank, as much as 30,000 pounds a month.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It is delivered to our little truck barn facility that we have, and then we load it case by case into our little delivery truck, and we run 6 delivery routes right now, covering 24 counties. And it's a big job, but we are providing right now, this month, our number would be 1,284, I think, food bags that we will be providing. If our senior centers were all functioning and the congregants were able to come, the number would be in excess of 1,700.
Wow.
So, and I would like for our viewing audience to know that this is two seniors. What is so mind-boggling to me, and it has to be, you two have to be God-gifted physically, because they load the truck, their truck, with this food themselves. They get up in the morning early enough to go there, load the truck on, and they drive it themselves to the seniors. And to me, that's an awesome task, and it just pricked my heart to want to have them come on to let our Facebook viewers know what an awesome task something like this here. Because you know, the Lord on the Mount told all of us, he said, feed the hungry, clothe the naked. And so this couple here is just a marvelous couple. But I want to give some statistics so you'll see, because I want people to know just how serious this hunger program among seniors is in Georgia. This is the Miss Cherie Stewart, by the way, who works for the River Valley Regional Commission. She's the director of the Senior Hunger Program. And what I'm reading to you is statistics. Let me get up here and find it first. And it's from December of 2020 from January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020. Now this is awesome. Let me try to find it. I'm challenged when it comes to, here we go. The senior population in Georgia, 63,744. Of that number, 328,135 are seniors who are marginally food insecure. 156,845 seniors who are definitely food insecure, and 53,657 seniors who are hungry. So in other words, you, Carolyn, you and Hugh are meeting a definite need as far as feeding the senior population here in Georgia. But I try to tell people you're a senior couple, you're taking all this on for yourself. And I just want to try to get the attention and to prick the hearts of our viewing audience to be able to help you, because I know that you all are going in your own pocket a lot of times. I know that the Area on Aging has applied for a grant to help you all out, which has helped out somewhat. But I would like for you to give your contact information so that our viewing audience will be able to contact you. And I always tell people, when you have an organization or that's doing something good for the community, for us, we need to help them. So if we just take a minute right now, I know you want to continue on, take a minute right now to give your contact information.
Okay, would be Adventist Community Services, or ACS, South Georgia. An address is 4580 Bedgood, Bedgood Avenue in Arabi, Georgia, ARABI 31712. We have
Thank
an
you.
email address is acstouchinglives@gmail.com.
And so those are staggering statistics that I gave out, but I'm going to let you continue on because we still got 7 minutes to just say more about what you and that good husband of yours, Hugh, do on a daily basis. This is 2 seniors that are doing this here, who are feeding seniors. And kind of how much does it take to feed one senior? If someone wanted to give out of their heart, how much to feed one senior? Well, how much was that?
If I calculate for just one bag, depending, some months it's more, some months it's less, but the overall average is $2 for
$2 to feed a senior. And that is something that all of us can do. I know I can stop drinking all those sodas and stuff that I love dearly in order to do something like that, in order to be able to feed a senior. And tell them what just tell them what your and Hugh's schedule is like. I want them to see just how hard y'all are following the command of our Lord.
Okay, today I will be going online and ordering our food for the month. And then the food bank will deliver it to us on probably Thursday. We arrange that. Fortunately, we have a forklift, and we arrange those pallets of food into a horseshoe shape, and we back our delivery truck into that. And on Sunday, we will load our truck for our Monday delivery. When we get home Monday, we will load the truck for Tuesday delivery. And we'll go through the week. We deliver Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then the next week we deliver Monday and Tuesday. Now, I have realized we drive right through 2 counties that we haven't made contact with, and there are some other counties to our south. I'm going to making contact with them and see if they would like the help that we provide. And if they do, then we will add 2 more delivery routes to this. So we will have 8 delivery routes.
Wow.
And that is awesome. And I'd like to point out that this is a couple that's doing it. And so I'm not only asking for people, but can you imagine what it's like for these two senior citizens to have a schedule like that and load? So I'm asking for volunteers. People would maybe like to, if you want to do both. I'm asking for volunteers to go down there and help them. I'm putting myself on the list, Carolyn and you, on at least one day to try to come down and try to get all, because you want to know something? I don't know how the two, it's just the grace of God that has given you two the stamina, the vitality, and the love for seniors in your heart to do this here. And my sole purpose is to get help for you all. The purpose of you being on now is for individuals to know what you're doing, because I know you two are strong Christians, you're not looking for any, but I insisted for them to please come on the show because I want to get you all help. Because the Lord has been blessing you, but you are senior citizens and you're loading the truck. It's just unbelievable. And then driving it. So would you please again let our viewing audience know how many counties y'all are delivering food to seniors?
How many pounds?
Counties.
Oh, counties. 23 right now.
Isn't that awesome? And anybody want to chime in? Andrea, Susan, Cheryl?
How long have you been doing this work?
We started in 2000
Wow.
here in Crisp County with 25 food bags for our local senior center. And as other directors found out, word spreads.
Sure.
We had more and more, and we were bagging it until we got up to 200 bags. So we said, this is too much. So that's when we started delivering by the case lot, and we let them bag it, and they give it to the qualifying seniors.
That's amazing.
That's amazing. Now, Carolyn, I know that is there a work number? Some people will find it easier to call, to get in contact, to find out, to get the address again. I want them to have your total contact so they can maybe call a central number at the Adventist office or someplace where they can say, can we come on board? Can we help you load the truck on this day, on another day? I just want to get help for you to do the Lord's work.
Our phone number is 229-271-6009.
And I would like to ask our audience, and they're going to be coming on next month and a month after that, because the Lord has just put it on my heart. These are two seniors, so I know it's difficult for them to load a truck with all the food and to drive it at the same time to the locations. And this is since 2000. This is 2021. Look at their obedience to the Lord that they're doing. So, Carolyn and Hugh, we're reaching the top of the other program. You're going to be on next month. I will contact you because I will drive down myself. Because if I can put this message out to individuals, if you can't, besides money, if you can call and just help them load a truck one day would be a lot off of their bodies doing it. Two senior citizens with the love of Christ in them. And so thank you, Hugh and Carolyn, for all that you do. Do you have something else, Carolyn, you want to say?
I was just going to share that we drive approximately 1,300 miles each month to do the deliveries.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so you're going to be on next month with some statistics and the stats that I gave. This is for all of Georgia. It's just people don't realize the status of senior hunger insecurity for all residents. But I'm spotlighting a lot of the seniors because they're really in a position. So Carolyn and Hugh, thank you so very much for coming on the program. And we'll see you all next $2 to feed a senior for one day. I put my money where my mouth is. I've already sent a letter to you to help out. So I just want you to know that I put my money where my mouth is. And I have already sent something to you, because you want to know something? What you do is pricking my heart. Pricking my heart. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, now we're
Bye-bye.
going on to the show here, and we're going to have a power-packed show here. We have Miss Cheryl Johnson. First of all, we have Miss Andrea Winston, who is the Chief Executive Officer of New Horizons Behavioral Health, my best boss in my life. And we have Miss Susan Gallagher, the lady with the glasses, the executive producer of the show. And we have two guests, Miss Cheryl Johnson and Mr. Michael Robo. And correct me, Michael, because you take it from, if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, please, it's my head and not my heart.
You got it. You got it.
I got it.
That
I
was
got it.
Yeah.
And they're going to be doing a presentation. It's our desire to do to have Ms. Cheryl Johnson and Michael on the second Mondays of every month, because for two reasons. The Bible says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge." So the more health knowledge you have, the better, especially when it comes to symptoms, cancer signals, or warning signs that you need to be aware of. And so we're committed to do that, and they have graciously accepted to come on the second Monday of every month, giving really good cancer information. And also, I want to try to destigmatize cancer so people know it's not a death sentence. And so, as I always do, I'm going to pass the baton to Miss Andrea Winston to personally say hello. Then she can pass it to the executive producer, lady with the glasses, Susan Gallagher.
Let me get
And
my
then I will have
glasses on.
Cheryl follow
You
that.
said lady with glasses. Let me put them on.
There you go.
Get your glasses out, Susan.
Then we have Cheryl introduce Michael and herself. And so the best boss I ever had after I left the military was Andrea Winston, the Chief Executive Officer of New Horizons Behavioral Health. Good morning, Andrea.
Good morning, Pops. Good morning to everybody. It's a beautiful morning, as you reminded us, Pops, that today is International Women's Day. So,
for the women!
yes,
For the women! And look, fellas, look.
I know that there is, they say a woman's work is never done. And I tell my fellow sisters, I said, I know there's got to be a special VIP lounge in heaven for us, because like we work,
Exactly.
we go in at work, we go in at home, we support our families and keep things going. And I'm glad to see the advancements that women have made over the past several years. So kudos and shout out to all the women that are on today. And thank you for having us, Pops. We feel right at home. We've been having a good time this morning. I think we got on about 5:30 and 6 o'clock this morning. Wasn't it? That when we started.
That's right.
It felt like that. So he just pushed the live button, but we've been here for some time now. He summons us.
Look, I have some people stop me and say, "Pops, y'all do y'all get out there and run and all that?" I say, they start laughing. They say, "Pop, y'all ought to stop."
We talk about it. We make it seem like we had formation this morning, but
You ain't, and guess
we're
what?
all just having fun.
And they put it on me. I said, "Oh no, Andrea Winston is the one that started that."
No. You are a taskmaster. You said drop down and give me 10 when we don't get it right, and we have to do it. So, and also with me here at New Horizons, we have the lovely Miss Susan Gallagher, who has on some new glasses today. So,
Yes.
Susan, welcome this morning.
Pink for springtime. I'm so glad the weather is warming up. Pink for International Women's Day.
Yay!
And we are out there shattering and cracking that glass ceiling. I mean, we have a woman vice president of the United States. I mean, how awesome is that? How awesome is that? So International Women's Day, thank you for bringing that up, and thank you for letting me be here. Good morning, Facebook friends and family.
And Ms. Cheryl Johnson, Executive Director of the West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition. Hello, Cheryl.
Hello, good morning, Facebook family, everyone. It is just
morning.
always a blessing to be here, and of course, happy National International Women's Day to my fellow sisters online, as well as those that are out there in the virtual world.
Yeah.
As we say. But it's always a blessing, as I said, to be here once a month, just to share about cancer and the various cancer awareness months that have been placed on the calendar. And we just, as Pop said, want to destigmatize, but also always want to remind our community that we have our Neighbors Helping Neighbors Cancer Assistance Fund that does help cancer patients who are currently in treatment with their daily basic living expenses, whether it's utilities or their mortgage or their transportation assistance. We serve 13 counties, and anyone who resides in those 13 counties do qualify if you're in current cancer treatment, receiving chemo or radiation. We're here to help reduce the burden of cancer in the communities that we serve, because we are truly neighbors helping neighbors. Thank you, Pops, for the opportunity. And I have a special guest. We're always collaborating with John B. Emmons Cancer Center, Mr. Michael Wobo, who's the outreach coordinator there. We are currently in a special project, and Michael, I'll turn it over to him so he can tell you more about that after he introduces himself.
Well, good morning, everybody. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you for introducing me. My name is Michael Wobo. I think most of our guests knows me now, because this is my third time in a row that I've been on the show.
Third time's a charm.
That's right. So I'm sticking around.
Yeah.
Thank you, Paul, for allowing me the opportunity. And I am the oncology outreach coordinator for John B. Emmons Cancer Center, part of Piedmont Columbus Regional. And part of what I do is bring cancer awareness, education to our community. Because I believe that, when we know better, we tend to do better. And like Pop says, we're trying to eliminate that stigma, that we tend to have on cancer. So we have to talk about it. It's going to be part of our daily life, because it affects, more than 50% of the general population. So it's something that we got to make a part of our lives. So every month.
Go ahead, Michael.
Okay. So every month, is a specific cancer site that is designated, for awareness for that month. So this month, the month of March, is Colorectal Cancer Awareness Month. Is also Kidney Cancer Awareness Month, and also the Multiple Myeloma Cancer Awareness Month. On the screen, Cheryl, if you can.
Okay, you ready for me to share my screen? And I think Pop had something he wanted to say.
I sure did. Like I always say, a lot of people don't know. When someone's battling cancer, it doesn't stop the bills. Unfortunately, it doesn't stop the bills. Doesn't stop the mortgage, water bill, electric bill, gas bill, food. It doesn't stop there. And so, when I found out, Cheryl, that you have so many outreach going on to help individuals to make it, it's a tough enough battle, but thank God for the science and the education and the advances in cancer research. But we have to look on the other side and realize that these individuals are still need help financially with incidentals. And so I want to thank the West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition for doing that. I would also like to tell our viewing audience, every organization that comes on here will make the pitch. The Temptation said, "Ain't too proud to beg." And guess what? And I will beg for these organizations, because these organizations here are taking care of us in this community, but they can't do it on their own. If you can, whatever you can donate, a quarter adds up to $1, $1 adds up to $5, $5 adds up to 10. And another thing you can do is your time. You can volunteer, call and volunteer. I can do this here on this day. I don't care if it might be an hour, 2 hours, you can put something like that. And then she has something, an idea for a serenity room. Because a lot of times, you know, families put their loving arms around you. And sometimes it's just good to get away to yourself and get around commune with individuals who are in the same situation that you are, that can really share intimately what you're feeling. And so she has in mind to have a serenity room. I'm going to have a talk about that at the tail end of the program. But these organizations, New Horizons, the same way. I used to work for them. I know they do a lot of things in this community. And so I will touch base with that at the end of this program, because I want to get into this very good presentation on multiple myeloma that Michael has. So, okay, Cheryl and Michael, you have the baton.
All right. Can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So for like Pop said, for the education today, my presentation will be on multiple myeloma. However, for colorectal cancer, we are having our free colorectal cancer screening. This will be, I think, our 5th year partnering with West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition to bring to this community a free colorectal cancer screening. So this screening that we do is a fecal immunochemical test, a FIT kit that measures hemoglobin in your stool. You know, it uses a small sample of your stool that you collect at home, you know, with the kit that we give you, and then mail it back to our lab. You know, our lab will process, you know, that stool, and then in a couple of weeks, you get your test result in the mail. That will tell you that you know, it came out either positive or negative. You know, so how do you get this kit? You can call this number. I'll read it out: 706-321-6603. Because due to COVID, you have to make an appointment, you know, date and time to drive through and pick up this kit. So this is the number you call to make that appointment to pick up your kit. It's 706-321-6603, and this will be going on the whole entire month of March. Okay. All right.
Michael, this is
Yeah.
Susan. Do you have a recommended age group for getting this test, or do you recommend it for any age?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because I didn't put that flyer. So they recommend 50 years and above to get, you know, start testing for colorectal cancer. However, if you have a family history, you know, and your family will be, you know, your parents, your siblings, and your children. Those are the family. So if you have a family history of colon cancer or rectal cancer, you should start testing by age 45. Of course, we know that the gold standard is, as soon as you turn 50, what will be the first thing you do?
Get the test.
It's a colonoscopy. You know, you get your colonoscopy, which I try to describe this to everybody. You know, you've used your colon for 50 years. You know, after 50 years, you should go get it flushed, you know, change your oil, however you want to describe it.
That's right.
Flush it, it's brand new again. You know, so
Right.
You've used it for 50 years, you get to flush it and start over. You know, so besides the gold standard, which is colonoscopy, you get to do this test every year. So this will cover you for a whole year post your colonoscopy.
And Michael, this is such a godsend to so many people. I mean, it is a godsend to be able to, it's easy and quick, but it's a way that you can stay on top of a cancer that is a silent killer. And I'm glad that Susan brought up the fact of age. We all know that very brilliant actor, Chadwick Boseman, young person, died of colon cancer. And so having a test like this that's so easy, so readily accessible, due to the John B. Amos Cancer Center, this is a blessing, another blessing to this community. So I want to just say thank you from a personal level. I want to say thank you because I make sure that I get my test every 5 years, and I stay on it. And so the occult stool specimen is an easy way to be able to do a test. And so I'll give it back to you because I know we have some good information to give out.
Okay, thank you, Pop. All right, next slide. All right, so we're going to talk about multiple myeloma today for our education. So what is multiple myeloma? This is a cancer of the white blood cell, which is made in our bone marrow. You know, white blood cells, you know, typically what they do is fight infection, you know, in your body. So when your body, you know, have multiple myeloma, the bone marrow makes too many of these white blood cells. And when it's making too many, it's making less of the other blood cells that you actually need. So when it's making too many of them, and you have you know, that means you probably have multiple myeloma because you start seeing symptoms of multiple myeloma. So what are the symptoms of multiple myeloma? So they get bone pains and fragile bones, you know, where the bones can easily break. You know, they experience nausea, vomiting, you know, confusion at times, and feeling of thirsty, unusual feeling of thirst, you know, like they want to drink water, they're dehydrated. You know, they feel weak, tired, you know, and shortness of breath more than usual. You know, they have blurry vision. You know, they experience numbness, tingleness, and weakness in the chest, you know, the lower back, and also in their legs. They get sick a little more easily, more than usual. And then they tend to lose weight even without trying to, you know. So when you start, noticing that you're losing weight even without trying to lose weight, you know, those are some symptoms. However, I must add that all these symptoms can also be caused by other conditions. So because you're having some of these symptoms does not mean that you have multiple myeloma, because, you know, it's a shared symptoms with other kind of conditions. But if you're having these symptoms, you know, do not hesitate to reach out to your doctor or talk to your nurse and let them know what's going on with you. Next slide. So is there a test for multiple myeloma? The answer will be yes. So they can test you for multiple myeloma with a blood or urine test. They can also do that by doing a bone marrow biopsy. That's when a doctor taps into your bone marrow and collects a sample of it, and then a pathologist will now look at that sample under the microscope to see if there's any evidence, you know, or a sign of malignant cancer cells in your blood. So another way to test for multiple myeloma will be through imaging. So imaging will include your CT scans, your PET scans, your MRIs, X-rays, stuff like that. You know what, the imaging simply, you know, creates pictures of the inside of your body. So that's what that does. Next slide. So how is multiple myeloma treated? So people with multiple myeloma often have more than one form of treatment, you know, throughout the course of their treatment. So the first one will be the watch and wait. You know, so some people have a condition called the smoldering myeloma. That is, you know, the stage before you actually start having symptoms. So what your doctor, your oncologist would do is just to, you know, activate a, active watch and wait. You know, they'll do regular testing to make sure that, you know, everything is still good until you start having symptoms. But as soon as you start having symptoms, they'll start treating you for myeloma. Okay, so the standard will be chemotherapy, which we all know what chemotherapy is. That's when your doctor uses medication to kill cancer cells. Another form of treatment that they use will be steroid medications. The steroid, what it normally do is slow down the growth of those cancer cells. And when we say steroid, we don't mean the steroid that the athletes, take to buff up. This is a different kind of steroid that they give to you. Another treatment form will be the immune modulating medications. What that does is also stop the growth of cancer cells. Another popular treatment will be using antibodies to treat, multiple myeloma. So how that happens is that the antibodies are proteins in your blood. So your immune system makes them to help your body fight infection normally. But when these antibodies that are created so the antibodies that they use for this treatment are actually created in the lab. So they infuse it into your body to do the same thing that your body antibodies is not able to do. So they'll kill cancer cells, by targeting, those cells, within the cells, those deformities inside the cells. It targets, the cancer. The last one will be bone marrow transplant. This is when, the bone marrow is where your white blood cells are made. So when you do the transplant, you extract your old bone marrow, and treat that person with chemotherapy to kill not just the cancer cells in your body, but also the cancer cells in your bone marrow. Then they transplant a fresh bone marrow into your bone marrows. And, the treatment, it works, and most people that has multiple myeloma will go through, bone marrow transplant at some point in the treatment. So what happens after your treatment? So after your treatment, you'll be checked every so often to make sure that your disease has not come back. So the process will be, it'll be the same. They do the urine or blood test, the imaging every so often to keep you, to make sure that everything is going well. So what happens if the multiple myeloma comes back? Of course, they go back with the same process. They treat you with chemotherapy, antibody treatments, steroids, all of those kind of medication that they did in the beginning. But the good thing with multiple myeloma, with the research that we have going on, as I think last month when they did the conference, right now they have over 600 clinical trials in the pipeline coming down, over 600. That's larger than any cancer, with multiple myeloma, 600 coming down. So it's so many options that's gonna come available over time for multiple myeloma patients. That's a good news for us. So what else should I do? It is important to follow your doctor's instruction, of course, and it's also important to talk to your doctor about your side effects and any problems that you're having while you are on a certain treatment. Getting multiple myeloma involves making so many choices. However, always let your doctors and your nurses know how you're feeling when you're going through, whatever treatment that they have you on at the time. Anytime you are also offered a new treatment, these are the questions that you should ask your doctor, your oncologist, because, with multiple myeloma, you go through stages, and every stage has you have options of whatever treatment that they want to offer you at that stage of your disease. But you're supposed to, be involved with your care. So you get to ask these questions to your doctor. what are the benefits of the treatment that they're offering you next? Is it likely for that treatment to help you live a little longer? What will be the symptoms, the side effects of that treatment? What are the downsides of the treatment that they're offering you? Are there other options, besides the one they're offering you? And you also get to ask them, what happens if this treatment doesn't work? Are there other options? So your medical oncologist should be able to sit down with you and discuss your treatment, at every stage of your disease. Okay? Cheryl, are there any questions in the comments?
I just have a couple of comments. I am so thankful that we live in this age that we live in now, because I'm old enough to remember when the options were not there. The additional help that the West Central Georgia Cancer Coalition offers to families for support were just non-existent years ago. And it's just a comfort to know that in this community, that cancer is no longer a lonely battle. Cancer used to be a very lonely battle for individuals. They didn't have, but they had very limited help, and this is the biggest thing, very limited options. And this is where communication comes in, education. Very little individuals that they can communicate their concerns to. Now there's anxiety, you have all types of fear. You have, your life does not stop. So there's ongoing issues that everybody's concerned with, along with this condition. And so it's so marvelous to hear, Michael, for you and Cheryl, all that you do the outreach in the communities that's available to the patients. And so, Michael, you always do a off the chain presentation, and I really, it's just a godsend. Thank you for all that you do in the community, and you, Cheryl, and Andrea, Susan. Do you have any comments?
I wanted to say that I understand that Emory University is one of the top leading areas or research hospitals that's researching treatment for multiple myeloma. And that's just right down the road from us. So we're so fortunate to have probably the leading organization in the nation under multiple myeloma research in our backyard.
And that's I have an interesting fact, which we really don't have, a real explanation to this statistic that we have. But in our area, Muskogee County, all the way down to Opelika, has the highest concentration of multiple myeloma diagnosis in the whole state.
Wow.
More than 2 times, the average. So people don't know. So also in Opelika, I don't know if it's a city or a town, but in Opelika, they have the highest concentration in the whole state of Georgia by far. Kind of like every one in, I don't know what the statistic, but it's outrageously high over there. So they're thinking it got to be something environmental.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, with multiple myeloma, that some of it can be, as you said, Michael, environmental, and, that's something for further studies. But you are correct, Susan, in saying Emory is right up the street, because we've had, myself personally, have had experiences with Emory and multiple myeloma and having treatment, not myself, but a loved one having treatment there. And then also, I don't know, Pops, if you want me to mention our special guest who is going to be on.
Yes, would you? And I was going to do that. Would you talk? Because I would like to, at his convenience, to come back, and there's nothing like a personal testimony. You know, when
Absolutely.
you're in church, you
So
give that
true.
personal
So
testimony.
Yes.
And I want to commend him
Yes.
for doing something like this here, please. And then Cheryl, if we can find out what would be a good time, we will fit Mr. Florence in, and
Yes, and I would
we should sincerely appreciate him giving a personal testimony on this regard.
Yes.
So, but would you tell us a little bit about Mr. Florence and
I will.
the
I
goodness
am
of his
just
heart?
so excited, and he and I have been actually texting back and forth. But Larry, a lot of people call him, he's from Phoenix City. Mikey Florence was a great standout basketball player here in our community, went on to play ball in Nebraska and also played professional ball overseas. And so, you know, he's a home, he's a true athlete and is still giving back by being a coach over at Northside High School. But he had an appointment. We got a little off track, but he is, I shared with him that perhaps he can come back on Monday, and he said he wants to share his story because he is truly a warrior. He is currently going through, and he wants to share his story because he was diagnosed at a very early age. And so he's been battling this now, you know, I know for over 7 years, 5 to 7 years. And so he's a young man, and that's what we want to share with our community, that if you're young, pay attention to the various things, and he'll share his story. But I just wanted the community to know that there's someone here in our community who's fighting the battle, who doesn't mind sharing their story, who wants to be a beacon of light to others that are going through, because it is truly a battle. Battling multiple myeloma is truly a battle. Yes.
And I want to tell you something, Cheryl. A lot of people don't know that much about multiple myeloma, and this is a blessing. I'll be honest with you, the presentation, and that's what this show is all about, to inform individuals. And I think I told you about the lady that called me from Camden, New Jersey.
Yes, sir.
And they gave the presentation on cervical cancer. So something like this here, and I want to thank you, Michael, Andrea, Susan, and everyone involved. By the way, Dr. Pitts is not here because she, as you know, she's a physician, and she's going off to another area to do so. She said she'll be going for a while, but she will be coming back. But this program, for someone who doesn't know, or maybe someone who's experiencing the symptoms, like the lady that called me, you know, she was informed, and now her daughter's in treatment. This is awesome. And that gives you, Andrea, Susan, Michael, anyone who's involved with individuals' health, that warm, fuzzy feeling that you have really done something for another human being. And this is just so, and I'm just so blessed to be able to have you all to bring the information to us. Really, really, really love you. I want to hear something about the Serenity Room.
The Serenity Room.
Please, the Serenity Room is, and that's important from the standpoint. You know, a lot of times, and everybody's had issues. I've had issues, and as a veteran, you know, sometimes we just wanted to be among other veterans. The family members did not feel that need for us to be with other veterans. And so having a Serenity Room is a godsend for you to have that idea, so that they can come to and just share intimately with other individuals who are going through the same journey. It is a blessing. So please, I will tell everybody, the Serenity Room is already, it's in the works. We need some of those quarters. We need some of those quarters. We need some of those dollars. We need some of those the other presidents on it. If you can, in the kindness of your heart, think about individuals. You know, a lot of us may be blessed by being in the situation that we're in, but we need to think about many of those who are trotting another path that need help. And that's a very vital part of this program. And so, Cheryl, thank you so much. That Serenity Room, where can they send? Give me your contact information, because the Bible says you receive not because you what? Come on, Bible scholars.
Ask not.
You ask
That's
not.
it. Bingo. You receive not because you ask not.
That's right. And just for those that are new on, the Serenity Room was an idea that came some years ago, and I put it out there in the atmosphere less than 6 months ago, and Pops has started blessing us, of course. It's already painted. The color is lavender. There are lights in there. But this is actually going to be for cancer patient survivors that just want to come and relax, be in a serene, peaceful environment, because we know going to the doctor, you know, going to the various places, you get sometimes overwhelmed, and it's nothing that's going to be medical. It's more from a social worker standpoint, more from a mental health standpoint. You know, we're going to have very positive signs in there. So if anyone has any, you know, uplifting things that they would like to share with us, we'll take those donations. But the main thing is you may send donations to 633 19th Street, Suite B, as in boy, Columbus, Georgia, 31901. That money you can put on your check, make it payable for the Serenity Room, because we will be, as I said, upgrading and putting things in there, you know, just to make sure that our cancer survivors have a home. It will be COVID. We will have COVID restrictions. We haven't opened it yet. We're trying to kind of wait until things die down. So that's why we're putting it out there now, and we're preparing it. So when God says it's time to open, we will do that. But it has been in the makings for some time, and we're just bringing that gift that to back and donating it back to our community, our survivors. We do also have a survivorship program. Let me tell you really quick. I know we're short on time, Pops, but
No, I want you to do it. No, please.
I always try to share the survivorship fitness program for those women or men. We're taking applications up until, want to say the end of this month, but we have partnered with Darius Miles, the owner of Insane Fitness, that survivors can come, that can get measured, get an assessment done, and then they're able to go at no cost, because we received a grant from the state for the survivorship program for those survivors to get personal training, to have group therapy. It is specifically going to be only other cancer survivors during the time, because it is COVID restrictions as well, but we just offer that to the community as well at no cost to the survivor. Right now, I think we have a husband-wife couple that are attending. We've had a husband and wife couple that attended before. What we call is get you a battle buddy to come and help and go with you along the journey. You do have to have a physician's or your healthcare provider's permission to attend. In order to, you know, make sure that you're able to go through the program. But we are being very, very specific as it relates. We do know cancer patients, their immune systems are low, and so we're being very cautious, you know, with that, because we don't want to, you know, expose anyone, but we do want people to know that it is available, and we're here to help those cancer patients, those survivors, those persons that are caregivers that are going through when life happens, because cancer has affected us all in some way, shape, or form. Everyone knows someone or has had a family member who has gone through or is going through, is on the journey right now, and so we just want people know that we're here to help in whatever way, capacity, in collaboration with our John B. Amos Cancer Partners, in collaboration with St. Francis, in collaborations with the West Georgia Health Center in LaGrange, and we work with the ones in Alabama. So we are truly a community collaborative, and we cannot do it without our partners, without our donors, without our sponsors, without everyone in our community. So please send those checks, 633 19th Street, Suite B, as in boy, Columbus, Georgia, 31901. And thank you again, Pops, for just having us, and we'll be back next month.
And let me tell you, I always tell people, if I'm begging now, I'm giving too now. I want everybody to know that. When someone said, Pop, you always, I said, I'm begging. Look, I'm begging because I'm begging for the organizations that are doing for you and everyone else in the community. So my check is on its way. And Miss Andrea Winston and Miss Susan Gallagher, any final comments?
I was just very glad to hear this information today, and I think that it has blessed somebody out there that may be having symptoms or may need just some information to help them on their journey. So I'm really excited that our guests are able to come and that we're able to have a platform to share this information.
Yes.
Susan?
I
say
agree
ditto?
100%. Yes, to get the information out to people in a edutainment format is very important.
Hey, she's the one that named it. I stole it. Edutainment. That's what we cut up. We have all kinds of fun, but we have someone like Michael and Cheryl that come and give really good information that the community really needs. I'd like to say another thing. You know, this is national. Today is National Celebrating Women's Day, but Clear Channel, DJ Chip Mitchell, my nephew, and all there you go, yay, and all the air personalities, they're doing it for a week. And so, and you want to know something? It could be a month, it could be years, because as Andrea rightly said, there is definitely a special place in heaven, because all goodness comes from God for women. And I'm telling you, I know my grandmother is there now, because the fellas, they get a little bit upset with me when I say it. I go somewhere and we have a meeting, like at the litter campaign. There were so many women out there. I kept looking around, so weird. I said, and I mentioned it. And some men said, Pops, how come yo? I said, because you know it's the truth, starts with the church. The women everywhere, women get involved. And so I'm just so thankful. We're doing a week for National Women. And so, as a final note, Michael, did you have anything that you wanted to say finally?
Yes, thank you. So I just want to let people know, if you know anybody that has multiple myeloma, or if you are the one going through the disease, 3 years ago we started a support group, a multiple myeloma support group. We named ourselves the Myeloma Warriors of Columbus, Georgia. And we're talking, it's up to like 40 members. And
that's awesome.
Once a month. Even through COVID, we've been meeting virtually every fourth Wednesday. You know, this is where you can come and sit around with folks that has, going through the same thing. So you can get this information firsthand from them. Those information are even more valuable if you think about it, compared to get from the profession. You get to, everybody tells you their story, their history. You can share your experiences with people, maybe if you've been dealing with disease for a long time, for numerous years, you can communicate with somebody that just got diagnosed. You can comfort them. You can some of their questions. They can answer yours. So it's a place,
and that's a very good thing. I'd like to thank see Miss Gwendolyn McIntosh and Miss Gloria Strode for their very kind comments. And until, as always say at the end of the program, until we come on, and we look so forward to getting with you on each Monday. It's just such a joy for us to do that. But until that time, please be good and kind to yourself, because God loves you. Bye-bye now. Thank you all for being so kind, for joining.